Hey everybody, Drew here, super honored to bring you guys this stunning 1998 Toyota Celsior. You might recognize this car as we had it here in the United States from 1990 until 2006 as a Lexus LS400 and LS430. The United States just simply wasn't ready for a $55,000 Toyota, so we got the brand Lexus. In Japan, they weren't ready for a brand that they didn't know or trust like they did Toyota, so they were still called Toyotas over there. This is a Celsior C-Type and is vastly superior in many ways to the Lexus variant that came here to the United States with many features we just simply didn't get. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys this amazing car and every feature I could think of to show and explain. It is absolutely stunning inside, outside, and underneath. It's the same quality as the Lexus we got here, just with more features. This particular example only has 72,444 kilometers on it, which is 45,014 US miles. It has some differences to the Lexus model, which I'm going to point out to you, as well as any of the flaws that it might have, which are very, very, very minor. This is an almost museum grade perfect car. So we'll start up here since that's where we're at. It has that very light scuff right there, which I'm fairly certain I can get out. But the purpose of this video is not only to show you guys the car, but to, to eliminate surprises when you get here to test drive it, or more so, eliminate any surprises if you buy this online and have it delivered, which is something we do and have done often. So walking this way, the front's, it's, very, very minor little scuffs and things like that. Only this one stone chip that I can find on the hood. That's actually wax, which is strange because, I've noticed this before on some Japanese cars. This was originally like ceramic coated. I'll show you the sticker and it says no wax right on the sticker, like it's not needed. But that was, potentially 25 years ago. So that would explain why there is some wax residue here and there. Just absolutely perfect. We put new tires on it. The tires that came on it were dry rotted because they were from the year 2002. These are a good all-season tire. They're going to give you a very quiet and smooth ride. They're just only going to give you about 40,000 miles. We realize a lot of people who buy this car are going to put different wheels on it, which is kind of heartbreaking. It'd be nice to see this car last, 30, 40, 50 years in bone stock and be a classic one day, but certainly not going to bring Michelins over and put those on it when it's likely again that it'll get different wheels. So those are brand new tires and they're excellent. They're just not, 70,000 mile tires. These were not on the US model. Those are side markers. There's, various things on the body that didn't come here, like the lights are, different. I can't tell you off the top of my head because it's been about 20 years since I've had one of these cars in front of me, the US version, but and obviously the Toyota logo, not the Lexus logo, but the lights are different. They're Japanese spec. These are power folding mirrors. Not all the Lexus models had that. Coming along the side here, it's just absolutely perfect. And there I am. Hello, how are you? Just no dents, scratches, dings, nothing. There's just this one really light scratch here, which might buff out, but there's no door dings or anything. Just an absolutely incredible car. Coming to the back, there's these stains. They're like water stains here that might buff out. Again, don't want a false promise. So they might be there when the car gets delivered to you or when you come to test drive it. Just some very light staining there. And on the back bumper, there's these scuffs right here and a little bit of peeling on the chrome. This is super common. Even models that didn't, that come to the United States and didn't have this did, like 1997 through 2001 Toyota Camrys. Had like a big piece, like a trim all the way around that had this chrome. It's more popular in Japan and it does peel, but it can be had cheaply on Amazon. I just wanted to leave the car original. This is, I do not believe this to be an original part. I think the previous owner added it. I can't find controls for it anywhere, but it's really handy because it beeps. It's a sonar and it beeps when you're about to back into something, which is nice, but it's not perfect because look at that. There's a little tiny scuff right here, 1, 2, 3, from it clearly not beeping louder than the stereo, which currently contains Japanese jazz. I will play that for you when we go inside. Super cool. And while we're back here, as you can see, underneath is perfect. There's no rust of any kind anywhere underneath there. And the reason for that is the part of Japan that this came from, they get like 5 to 8 centimeters of snow per year, which is, Jacksonville, Florida has had that probably half a dozen times in my 37 years, you know, with just a dusting of snow, and they don't do anything about it. It's so rare, and it's so light, and it lasts such a short time. They don't put down salt, they don't plow, they don't do anything like that. So this car is effectively like, not a Florida car, because they don't get the heat that Florida gets. It's more like a Central California car. So no, other than those scuffs I showed you, ironically, by the sonar thing, there's nothing, maybe a really light scratch on this door handle right there, but just nothing on this side. It's, these tiny little chips. Not sure if they're from stones or what, but they show up good for you on camera, which is good, because again, we don't like surprises. But just as close to a perfect car as you're gonna get. I'll show you guys in the trunk and under the hood. This, by the way, the effort that Toyota put into this car to beat out Mercedes and BMW, you can read up on that, and if it's something you're interested in chatting about when we're together, I'd love to, because I'm a massive, massive, massive Toyota fan. I mean, in 1989, when they launched the Lexus LS400, it just destroyed the Mercedes-Benz S-Class and the BMW 7 Series. There's probably some people watching this right now that hate my guts for saying that, but sales statistics don't lie. Quality doesn't lie. I mean, these cars, these were million-mile cars. It's so common for these cars to hit 1 million miles with the 4-liter that it's not even really like a big deal anymore. It's up to date on all its maintenance. That is a new battery. It's got, you know, like there's new automatic transmission fluid in there that talks about the battery that of course was already replaced. That's steering fluid maintenance, coolant maintenance, just stickers all over it. And again, that is easily the best V8 engine ever made. Again, there's probably some Chevy fans hating me for not naming the small block, but you know, it's just so many of these that hit 1 million miles with regular maintenance. It's incredible. Something else to note, it's not very common for Japanese cars to have air horns. Those are actual, here, I'll beep it for you. Those are actual air horns, not the meet kind, which, you know, there's plenty of cars that came to the United States that got those, did not in Japan, but this did. And there's more maintenance there. I'm not sure if that's oil or what. I believe that's telling you that the next oil change is due at 76,000 kilometers, which would make sense because again, it's got 72,444 kilometers on it. So inside the trunk, not what you'd expect. So instead of like a super, you know, posh, it's got a rubber trunk mat, but then ironically underneath it, it's upholstered. It's actually upholstered down underneath the spare tire. So different than what we're used to for sure. Different than what came in the Lexus. Here's the tool kit. I'm not going to take that out, but it's got, you know, your 12 millimeter, your 10 millimeter, just basic tools. It's an easy closed trunk. Just an incredible car. And where it gets, you know, particularly special is inside. So I'm sure you guys noticed already that it doesn't have leather. That's not because, you know, they cheaped out and it's an option they didn't get. It's important to keep in mind this is a C-Type. C-Type means it has auto-leveling air ride. It's a limousine. It has full control of the car from the reclining, massaging, fully adjustable rear seat. That's wool. So I'll show you the sticker, or the tag more rather. So in Japan, at least up, you know, not so much in these modern times, you know, they've kind of westernized a little bit more than us purists would have hoped. But, you know, in the 90s, it was still, you know, very Japanese culture, and, you know, a seating surface that was too cold in the winter, too hot in the summer, and made noise. That's all my research indicates, that was part of it too, the acoustics in the car from sliding across it. As silly as it sounds, you know, like I hate to say this on video, but like the kind of fart sounds that leather can make when you slide on it, that and just the acoustics in the car, everything added to that wasn't the superior surface. So they used wool, which is even in their Toyota Century, which is $180,000. To this day, it's a $180,000 car. It's like a $220,000 SUV. They're both called Century, and they offer them in leather and wool. It's the owner's or the buyer's choice. Still to this day, wool seating is preferred by, you know, about half the people there. So that, and it's in perfect condition. The floor mats are almost perfect. They're just pretty darn good. That little bit of curling they have will chill out. They've just been shampooed. That'll chill out as the car sits in the sun a little bit. I'm actually going to start it. It has, well, let's go over some of the features it has. It does have cruise control, but according to the Japanese DOT regulations of the era, that cruise control is only good to 108 kilometers per hour, and there's no current known way to hack this computer. Some Toyotas you can, this particular one you can't, but it does have cruise control. It has a power seatbelt. Not sure if you could power up and down seat belt. That, of course, a power driver seat and passenger seat. The back seat's power too, but most people don't expect power headrests. Just incredible. It's got power folding mirrors, and it has ultrasonic raindrop removal. So if you press this button, which I'm not going to do because, you know, it's not raining, but it ultrasonic, I tried it when I washed the car, it ultrasonically vibrates the mirrors and gets the raindrops off when you're driving, which is incredible. Coin storage there. It has a power steering wheel. So if I could, there we go. So the steering wheel comes down and out, and of course is fully power. There's the parking pole that I'm gonna put that on for you guys. The car might need to be running for that. Actually, I'll start it up for you. So there you go. There's the parking pole. I'll turn that off. That tells you where the front of your car is so you don't bump into anything parking. I'm gonna turn off the AC, which is ice cold. It's important to keep in mind this car is all in kilometers, and that's not flickering, by the way. That's a discrepancy between my phone, the frequency of my camera, and the frequency of those LEDs. It's in Japanese. There's charts online you can get. And you could also use Google Translate, which works most of the time. 100 is 62, so that means 50 is 31, 75 is about 45, and you just kind of go from there. It has navigation. Now, one would expect that it would show us just way out in the ocean because it's only programmed for Japan, but super cool. It's picking up our satellites, acting really confused, and if I go to the same place twice, like when I come to my office here, it'll show something different every time over in Japan, which is cool. It's got like Japanese street names and things like that. Just super cool. Familiar to the US model, but obviously all backwards because we're sitting on the right side of the car. And in Japanese. And again, I'd highly recommend, I'm sure anybody watching this that would buy this car has a smartphone, just download the Google Translate app. There's a button to use your camera to translate this all to English. This puts the rear seats back into their home position. That's heated rear seats. I can't find a button for a heated front seat. But again, this is a chauffeured car, meaning this car was designed and based on the dirt I found in the floor mats, the dirtiest floor mat was back in the chauffeured position. So whoever owned this car paid a driver most of the time, which is awesome. It has Japanese jazz, which this does not come with the car. Sound system is incredible, as you'd expect from, you know, this car was probably 20 grand more than the most expensive LS400. It has, of course, control of the passenger seat from the driver's seat, and more importantly, the rear. This is refrigerated inside here. What else can I show you guys? The ashtray does not indicate the car was ever smoked in, neither does the way it smells. It's got awesome storage in here with a factory touch-up pen in case you need it, and a CD changer. In the glove box is some Japanese paper, some goodies for you guys. One key, by the way, it's the same as the Lexus LS400 key, so you could very likely have one made here in the United States. The car has side airbags, but no side curtain. So I am going to go into the back. Hopefully it's not locked. Okay, good. And you cannot lock yourself out of a Japanese car, by the way, which I'll show you. It's not electronic, it's mechanical. So even with the battery out of the car, if you lock it and shut it, it unlocks itself, which is kind of a cool feature. You can also pop your standard shifter from drive into the gear below it without pressing the button, and they all beep in reverse. Little Japanese car facts. So, by the way, the one stain on the interior seating is right there. You can barely see it. There's a little bit more right there. It wouldn't come out, and I didn't want to push it because it's wool. I took my shoes off to get in here, which most actually Japanese people have special shoes for driving and riding in the car, or they did in this era. Little stain right down in here may have come out. Possibly the coolest feature in this car, definitely in my opinion, is the back seat. So first and foremost, there's a button here, and that moves the front seat out of my way. So I'm about 5'7", and I mean, I can really, pardon my wound there. But I mean, I'm like really stretched out. So there's that. It has a power headrest on both sides in the back and reclining seats. So I'm gonna recline this way back and show you guys I have full control over the audio. So there's that. I also have full control over the AC back here. I'm not going to turn that on because it makes noise and interrupts the video, but I have full control of the AC. There is seat massagers, which are, I'm not sure if you could hear it in my voice, but they're very powerful. The comfort, it's insane. I mean, this is like the most comfortable seat within like miles of where I'm filming this. It's incredible. Massaging seat. I'm not exactly sure what this button does, but it has something to do with the headrest. It's important to note some of these buttons don't work if a door is open, and that's, you know, for occupant safety. This seat's pretty good too, but it doesn't, you know, obviously you can only go so far because the driver needs to be comfortable. But this is just absolutely exquisite, and with the sunroof open, it's VIP is an understatement. Like the VIP movement, tricking these cars out, making them exclusive. This car doesn't need any tricking out. It's VIP the way it comes. It's got dedicated rear air conditioning and lighting. Just incredible. And inside here, keep in mind this car's from 1998, there is a dedicated cassette player and headphones. So if you're in the back and you just kind of want to tune out, you can. And here's where the rear seat heaters are controlled. So heated rear seats, just absolutely exquisite back here. The only thing left to do now is take you guys for a ride. Driving this car is, I've never driven a Rolls Royce, but, you know, I can imagine how, you know, a Ferrari is better than a Corvette. I can imagine how, you know, a Porsche 911 is better than a Mustang. By the way, we'll move this back as you see here. You know, and I can imagine how, you know, a Mercedes-Benz S-Class is, which I haven't driven either, is, you know, better than a Toyota Avalon. And I'm sure all those, you know, assumptions are right, you know, within a certain degree. I can't picture how a Rolls-Royce is better than this car. I mean, it is so smooth. The steering is just, you know, it's one finger. It's heavy enough to feel good. It's light enough to be relaxing. I'm just going to move my seat a little bit. I'm gonna take you guys out and get you up to highway speed, but just so you know, you're in a Toyota, you know, I mean, or, you know, Lexus, Toyota, whatever, because the quality is insane. Sadly, in the late 90s, you know, there were nicer cars, but just the quality wasn't there, and that's why I think this car feels as good as it does. I mean, just the obsessiveness of every single electronic and you know, mechanical component in this car. It's incredible. There's something too I want to show you guys when we're done, the windows, but you know, the windows have like double tracks. That's 3,000 RPMs, barely working this car at all, and we're already going, you know, 55, 60 miles per hour. There's my hands off the wheel. As you see, no shakes, no shimmies, nothing. Gonna hit the brakes, so I'm straighten out, hit the brakes. No pulls, no shakes, no shimmies. Just an absolutely incredible car. And by the way, we'll throw the four ways on here because it's just a little quality thing I want you guys to see. The windows, this is part of the interior trim here. Most cars are just, you know, painted the color of the outside of the car right there, but these windows have these little buttons. Not sure if you can see those. These things actually hold these windows on a secondary track. You can probably go, these are limited to 118 miles per hour because of the Japanese spec. I believe they went about 155 with US spec, which I'm not going to do, and I certainly hope you don't either, because the slightest thing could happen and, you know, that could go really badly. But anyways, there's no wind noise in this car. I mean, it is so freakishly quiet inside this car. You can hear the engine, but in a good way. It's not, you know, not to pick on Corollas, we sell a ton of them and we love them. I mean, it's probably the best value on the road, the 03 to 08 Corolla specifically. But, you know, it's the engine, you can hear it and it interferes with the peace and the serenity in the car. This doesn't. It's just a V8 hum that is absolutely appropriate. You know, like just the luxurious sound of a very quiet V8, if that makes sense. I'm going to try to take you guys where nobody's going to be in our way. The power, certainly not gonna beat on the car, but just the power that it has, the torque. Here, the power and the torque this thing has. I mean, we're already going like maybe 75 miles per hour. It's just incredible. Perfect mechanicals, perfect engineering, or as close to perfect as you're ever gonna get. So I'm Drew. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and you know, reach out in the comments with any questions you might have. We're posting this video on not the dealership's channel, but kind of the channel where we debut these beautiful cars so more people see them. So be sure to reach out through the website, www.pellicars.com, or you can just call me, 585-771-0111. If you want to set up a test drive or arrange to have this car delivered, you can buy it online. It's doable. We've done it a million times. And again, make sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this, because our family is very into Japanese cars and we import pretty often. But I can't think of a car we've ever imported or even had in stock that was this good. This car is incredible. The only one that gives it a run for its money, there was a 2006 Lexus LS400 we had that was pretty darn good, but nothing like this. So again, I'm Drew. I really hope you liked the video. More importantly, I hope you like the car. Again, www.pellicars.com. Thank you guys so much for your time. Goodbye.